Hugo Stiglitz. Lieutenant Aldo Rain. These are the Bastards. Ever heard of us? We just want to say we're a big fan of your work. When it comes to killing Nazis, I think you show great talent. And I pride myself in having an eye for that kind of talent. But your status as a Nazi killer is still amateur. We all come here to see if you want to go pro.
This is my review for Inglourious Basterds, released in 2009. In my recent preview show, I had said that very little I had seen of Inglourious Basterds so far from the TV spots and trailers had got me hyped about the film. I thought Brad Pitt was overacting. I wasn't a big fan of Eli Roth, and I wasn't sure if I liked the idea of a renegade team of killers as opposed to a whole army and just a kind of normal battlefield war type film. I also stated that I wasn't the biggest fan of Kill Bill Volume 2. I have since rewatched that movie and I really enjoyed it this time round. Also in the preview, I said that unless Inglourious Basterds was going to be utter crap, because it was Tarantino, if it was going to be good, it was at least going to be very good. So, is it crap or was it at least very good? It was amazing. No exaggeration or word of a lie. It opens with an amazingly tense scene where Colonel Hans Lander is interrogating a man suspected of hiding Jews. The scene is constructed so cleverly and masterfully, it is a pleasure to watch unfold. That scene was at least 15 minutes, maybe even 20, I'm not sure, and not one moment was I bored or did I feel that it outstayed its welcome. And that's a good thing, because Tarantino didn't stop there. I'd say along with that scene, altogether there are 4 scenes that will go down in my mind as classics, any genre. One of them is where the character Hans Lander asks to talk to Melanie Laurent's character, who about possibly staging a premiere of a new film at her cinema. Christoph Waltz, who plays Hans Lander, brings such a menacing, downright evil presence to the screen. He's both stone cold deadly and oddly charismatic at the same time. Melanie Laurent was brilliant in her role, and I feel she, along with Christoph, deserve an Oscar nomination for their roles. Hell, for that scene alone. Another scene, which I won't give too many details about, so not to ruin any of the tension, takes place in a bar. You'll know what it is when you see it, obviously, because it's a bar, but it's absolutely brilliant. It's a tense, nail-biting scene that runs, I'd say, at least 30 minutes, maybe 25 to 30 minutes, more than that maybe, I'm not sure. You'd think that the runtime for a scene of that length would get boring, but not in Tarantino's hands. He builds it with the tension and then breaks it with a joke. Then is immediately able to switch back. You know, as soon as, say, in a scene that Hans Lander walks onto the screen, something bad is going to happen. And it's just a matter of sitting back and enjoying Tarantino's masterful writing and directing and the brilliant performances unfold. If I was going to point out anything as a weak point, it is probably that I was less interested in the Bastards part of the narrative and their moments on screen than the rest. And that's not to say their moments weren't good. Brad Pitt, yes, I still found his accent and general acting over the top. However, in the context of the whole film, though he has his moments of being evil and tense, he actually provided a great deal of comic relief, which was important, I thought. Eli Roth did annoy me, but luckily he didn't get that much screen time. I liked his intro. They really built his character up and made a grand entrance for him. Then he turned out to be this loud, kind of a fairly annoying guy, not really that menacing. However, perhaps that was to show he was kind of a little mad and off balance, as they had already had a quiet, brooding killer in Stiglitz. This movie is violent, perhaps Tarantino's most violent, in terms of lingering on the violence. However, for how serious at times this movie is or how violent it is, it's also a strangely funny movie. There are genuine moments of comedy, as usual with Tarantino movies. It's funny actually, because the showing I was in kind of showed that Tarantino himself and his trademarks can even get laughs. When Stiglitz, a member of the Bastards, is introduced, it freeze frames and his name comes up on the screen in bold yellow font. It is very Tarantino, and even got a laugh from the audience of how stereotypical of his kind of work it is. What else? Oh, the final set piece in the film is awesome too. All in all, I was utterly blown away by this film. Up there with his best. Up there with Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs and Jackie Brown. Okay, let me just say it like this. Like Death Proof, his most recent movie, before, I really liked Death Proof. And I did really like it. However, I did feel there was something missing. I think Inglourious Basterds has shown up what it was. Although maybe with the exception of Mike's first kill and asking for the lap dance, though it was well written, there was no real sense of danger. A lot of the dialogue was fairly throwaway, trivial, which Tarantino is known for, but it was trivial with no kind of sense of danger. Like Mr. Pink in Reservoir Dogs, that was trivial when he was talking about the tips, but it was also dangerous because of the people he was with. With this, I think it's some of his best writing in Inglourious Basterds. My favourite film of 2009, and it will take a lot to beat this.
Yes, 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 yes.